Welcome to the Making Space For podcast, where we embark on a journey to simplify, organize, and prioritize our lives. I'm your host, Paige Rabin, and on each episode, we'll explore the art of intentional living, helping you make room for what truly matters. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, it's easy to find ourselves surrounded by things that don't contribute to our happiness or well-being. Making Space For is your guide to decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mind and soul. We'll dive into practical tips on downsizing, right-sizing, and the transformative power of letting go. Whether you're starting at a cluttered closet, pondering legacy planning, or seeking the elusive balance between work and self-care, this podcast is your sanctuary for inspiration and actionable insights. Join us as we feature experts, share personal stories, and explore the profound impact of intentional living. Together, we'll navigate this journey toward a simpler, more fulfilling life, one where you have more of what matters and less of what doesn't. Before we delve into today's episode, a quick shout out to our flagship company, A Move Handled with Care. As Denver Metro's premier senior and specialty move management experts since 2007, we've mastered the art of downsizing, right-sizing, organizing, and every step in between. From packing and moving to unpacking and staging, our experienced staff represents all stages of life, offering a compassionate touch to what matters most to you. So if you're looking to make a seamless transition while keeping what truly matters in focus, trust A Move Handled with Care. Visit us at amovehandledwithcare.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn to discover the difference. Let's continue making space for the life you deserve. On today's episode, we're making space for memories without the mess with a guest who's been in more attics, basements, and sentimental closets than most people have ever seen in a lifetime, our friend, Matt Paxton. He's the Emmy-nominated host of The Legacy List, the best-selling author of Keep the Memories, Lose the Stuff, a featured expert on Discovery Channel's Filthy Fortunes, and the founder of Clutter Cleaners, one of the nation's first and most respected hoarding cleanup companies. Matt has spent decades helping families and individuals let go of the physical weight of their stuff while holding on to the stories that give those things meaning. In today's conversation, we talk about how memories and movement intersect, how his work parallels what we do as move managers, and what it really takes to transform letting go into an act of legacy, healing, and freedom. This is Making Space For What Matters Most. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
We're so excited. I mean, we've known you for several years now, and this is a fun platform to be able to chat and share our chats with the world.
Well, anyone that knows me, I love to talk. So this is perfect for me.
You have the gift of gab.
I do.
And you're a busy man, so you're headed from here straight to do
homecoming tonight.
Homecoming, yeah.
We're
and then
Dallas today, Atlanta tonight for homecoming for the kids, and then I'll be on stage in Vegas at 9 a.m. on Monday morning.
What's the one in Vegas again?
SMASH. It's like the National Senior Living Marketing Association. So it's like the top 300 senior living executives, and I have to give the keynote. And I have not written it yet, so I hope to write it on the plane tonight.
Well, luckily you have a lot of content.
Yeah, it's really picking what stories I'm going to tell.
I guess so people don't know how we met. We belong to a National Association of Senior Move Managers. That's how we met you. That's what we do. So how did you get involved with NASM? I guess let's tell people how we met and what the connection is between what our business is and what you do.
So NASM's a weird thing. It's a bunch of competitors, and we all get together and we're all really tight. I think one thing that's nice about the senior move industry is there's so much business that we really can't afford to compete. We have to all get along. Because I'll get a call from someone that has I'm in Atlanta, and someone will call me and say, oh, I got this house in Miami and I got one in Denver. And so I'm always looking for really good move managers. And when I met you guys, it was like, oh, they could lock down Denver. We're good. I don't need to look anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I'm always ABP, always be poaching. I'm always
I love that. Yeah.
for workers,
workers.
I'm always looking for move managers. We call them OSMs, on-site managers. But I'm always looking, I'll be at school and I'm in a kid's teachers meeting and I'm like, this lady would be great. I should be talking about my son's test scores.
Job?
Yeah.
Because
this seems really stressful. I've got a place to be really, and I'll be at the restaurant and I'm always poaching and I'm always looking for talent and I'm always looking for partners. And because this industry is so quickly evolving. For the listeners that don't know, this whole industry started with 20 women, 20 really badass positive women that were in a living room. They were helping seniors move. and they knew that there needed to be ethics around it. So the entire industry is built on 20 women saying, hey, there needs to be ethics built around this industry because we're working with seniors and they're not going to be able to protect themselves. And so the industry as a whole is built on the foundation of like earning trust and really having a sound ethical ground. And so when I was cleaning houses early on in my career, I was on Hoarders really early. I got very lucky. I got on a really cool show called Hoarders. It wasn't out yet, and so no one knew about hoarding. And I was cleaning houses in Richmond, Virginia for $15 an hour. And I thought I was rich. I did not have insurance. I did not have a truck. I was using an old, what was that car? The one that was like made of plastic.
I don't know.
Saturn View. It was a Saturn View.
Saturn View.
I had a Saturn View that I would like put trash bags in and go to the dump for free. I mean, like this industry was not mature yet. And I remember.
But you didn't jump into hoarding first.
I did. So it's funny you said. So I was when I was 24. I'm 50 this year. When I was 24, my dad, my stepdad, both my grandfathers all passed away, and I was a kid. I was 24. I was lost. I was pretty much an alcoholic, and I was pretty wild. And I was available. So my family had me. It wasn't like they're like, oh, he's meant for this. Like the only one that didn't have a job. And so people always say, how'd you get into this? And I say, well, I failed at everything else, which is true. I mean, I was at a low point in life, so I started cleaning the houses, and I did immediately find purpose. Like I was like, oh, this is cool. And I fell in love with the stories, and I fell in love with the people. But the first 4 clients were my family. And so I was finding out all these crazy stories about my dad, my grandpa. We also have a connection. I have a connection with you guys where my grandparents' ranch was north of where y'all are from. My grandparents' ranch lived. If these people listen from Colorado, my grandparents had a ranch. If you go in Cowdrey, Colorado, which is the town past Walden, and Walden is at the top of the Poudre Canyon. I mean, you gotta be lost to get to Walden. You do, or want to go ice fishing, and that's where the ranch was. And so I would spend every summer there, and he was this hardcore, just really like good man. He never drank a bit of alcohol in his entire life. I think I told you guys this story. He started a church. They started a Southern Baptist church in Walden, Colorado. And that's a tough sell. When your church can only be open like 6 months because of the snow. Well, they opened it, and there's a point to the story. They opened that church, and for 8 years, nobody showed up. 8 years. Like, I'm not exaggerating. And she would teach Sunday school, and he would preach. And they did that just to each other for 8 years. And they always said, well, it's not my call. Like, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And I wish
I had that kind of patience. You know, like the patience and tenacity.
I don't care. Amazing. Yeah, and I don't care about anybody's faith. I hope they have something that works for them. It's not my place to put mine on anyone else. But I love that focus and that dedication to whatever you're into, right? And so I was cleaning this man that did that. He never drank a drop of alcohol in his life, like dedicated man, farmer, all that. And I was cleaning his house with my grandma. She wasn't dead yet. She ended up dying later that year. But I was getting to clean the house with her. And so my first coworker was my grandma, you know. They were married they wanted to get married when they were 14. Their mom made them wait till 16.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy when you think about it.
A couple years.
And we found a telegram from him to his sister. And I mean, they lived in a cashless world. That was all, like, they bartered up there. There was no cash. Like, nobody had money. They did rabbits, and, you know, some people do vegetables, some people do fish, but they would trade food to survive up there. And just salt of the earth people. And I found this telegram from when he was 18, and he was in Alaska during World War II. And it said, Alaska's nice, send more money. And it was like the most simple thing from this man that I idolized and always strived to be. And he was just a man of like, just purity. And then he was a teenager. I found a letter when he was a teenager. He's just like, this place is awesome. Send me some more money, you know? And it was like, it just normalized my grandpa after he passed. And so for that was like a really big moment for me. And I was like, I want to do this. And fast forward a couple houses later, I get back to Virginia, and all my grandma's friends are calling me. And they're like, we heard you helped out. And so for a guy that was lost in life, like, all of a sudden I had a purpose. I had people that, like, my wife's here. My wife's in the other room listening. And like, we always joke, the big thing is like, okay, well, I don't need a parade for this. And when I say I don't need a parade for this, it actually means I need a parade for this, you know? And so, like, It was the first time in my life where I didn't feel like I needed a parade. Like I felt like the work was the parade.
The work was the parade.
You know? And it was just, I found some calm. And so I was really happy to get it. And so I was like, I'm going to start doing this. And then I was also working at a grief camp for kids at that point. Someone had said, hey, you need to go help these kids at a grief camp called Comfort Zone Camp. It's a camp where if kids have lost their parents, they go. And we had one-on-one matching with kids. So my job was to hang out with 10-year-olds who just lost their parents and like connect with them and make them have fun at camp. It's in a magical place. I loved it. And so I would do that on the weekend, and then I would clean houses during the week. And I found that we were doing this. I was saying the same stuff to the grieving kids and to the grieving grandmas that I was helping. And so I was using the same techniques that we would use in like fun therapy for these kids. I'd use them with the grandmas, and we would start telling jokes, and we'd have fun. And I'd be like, tell me what I would always like, what'd you do during the war? And they would tell me these this was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
They would tell me these amazing stories of like what they did during World War II. You know, and they'd tell me these crazy stories of how they met their husbands, and you know, they go to the bar, like the Tantilla. In Richmond, Virginia, there was a bar called the Tantilla, and these women it was right across the street from the train station. So the men would get home from the war, and then they'd go to the Tantilla. It was a brown bag place where you'd have to bring liquor in a brown bag, and then they'd go dancing upstairs. And all these women would tell me about the Tantilla. And then one time I found a matchbook from the Tantilla Gardens, and I was like, hey, what's this, Judy? She's like, oh, the Tantilla, you know, and that's what I fell in love. So long story, I fell in love with these stories. I fell in love with these women. I fell in love with this like, oh, I can like help people like be happy in a time of sadness. So all that's great, but I had to pay the bills too. I was broke. I was recovering. Like I was getting my life together, and I was also grieving. People kept dying in my life. And so I was like, all right, I couldn't get enough work to make it a business. It was still kind of a side hustle. And then there was this one move manager in town, Door-to-Door Solutions. It was the only move manager in town. She was by far the best. And if you're in this business now, there's a first generation that created our industry. And in our industry, there's a respect for that.
Yeah. We were talking about that. Like the OGs.
The OGs.
Yeah, and like when you see them and like there is this like reverence for them.
Y'all are the leaders of the next generation. I always say that.
We hope so, yeah.
You guys are. Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm here.
So we wanna be.
I mean, you guys are. You guys are the leaders of that next generation. And that's one reason I support y'all. And so, but like the OGs, there's these badass women that like they just created this because there was a need.
Yeah.
They didn't wait for anybody. They didn't ask permission. They just did it. And so, and you know, there was a point where I was like the only guy in this. I mean, there's like Barry. I mean, we can name them. Like that's how many guys. And if I say one word, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Right? And so I have a huge respect for these women, but like the one in Richmond, Virginia, where I was amazing. Her name's Katie Danny. She's still in business. I went to her and I said, hey, I want to do more of what you do. What do you not do? And she goes, I don't do hoarding. And I was like, oh, I do. I'm like the best at it. And so she goes, well, I have a hoarding job if you want it. And I go, I love it. And so I had only been doing like estate clean outs for like 2 years when I met her. And I saw her in the newspaper. I mean, that's how long ago this was. And no internet yet, really. And anyway, I told her I did hoarding. And then she's like, well, we have a job for you. And I was like, great, I'll do it on Monday. So I went to the library that weekend and I checked out a book on hoarding. Because I didn't know anything about hoarding. I didn't know anything about hoarding. And I was
Google
like,
it, yeah.
I was like, there's no Google.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I was like, I'm
Google
the
it.
best,
Go to the library,
man.
yeah.
And when I wrote her a thank you email, I actually saw this the other day. I misspelt the word hoarding. I spelled it HORDING. I didn't even know how to spell the word. And I checked out Dr. Michael Tompkins' book on hoarding. And fast forward 10 years later, I got to clean houses with Dr. Tompkins on hoarders. He was the therapist. I was the cleaner. And I got to write the foreword to his book.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Which, I mean, career-wise, like it's like playing basketball with Michael Jordan. You
Yeah.
know, for me, it was amazing. But like I'm skipping over probably 500 houses in that 10 years. I found a home in the hoarding. I found people that were, you know, brilliant people that were grieving, that were in, you know, trauma causes hoarding. I learned a lot about hoarding. No, we didn't know what hoarding was. Everybody thought it was a subset of OCD.
Right.
And it was not even in the DSM-5 at that point. And then I was one of the lucky ones where I just got to be with 500 hoarders. And so I started writing. I was like, this is significant. Like, this is consistent. Like, she also got beat by her husband. Oh, she also got abused by her dad. And you start to I started to catalog. And I'm like, well, that pile looks like the same pile as Miss Jones. And so we started to write down the traumas. And I was just curious. And then I started like, man, she was really smart. Like, she was I don't know if I put this in the book or not. I had this one lady that she, I'll never forget. It's when I really finally understood hoarding. she, the whole point of this, by the way, listeners, is like emotion is everything. And it's never about the stuff. It's about the emotions. It's about the people. So I'm getting to that, but I promise you this story is amazing. This lady, I was in Washington, D.C. It was a multi-million-dollar home. She had hoarded it out, and she had, she'd have a couple thousand books. They're all in hoarding situations. It's always books. It's always paper. And you find out like the top 3 jobs are teachers, nurses, and social workers. What do those 3 things have in common? They're all caregivers. Mm-hmm. And you find that like these women are not hoarding for themselves. They're hoarding to give things to other people.
Yeah.
Right.
And they get their happiness and self-worth by doing things for other people. And so I was starting to see all the consistencies in their behaviors. But this lady was different. She would have like the same book in 10 different languages. And I was like, I gotta know. Like what? I just gotta ask. I don't wanna be disrespectful, but I gotta ask. Why the same book in 10 languages? And then she was just like, oh. And she got really disturbed. Like she was annoyed. It was like watching Mean Girls. It was this old woman, and she just goes, it's because sometimes poetry just sounds better in Russian. And she was so annoyed that I didn't know that. And that I didn't know that there's not English words that fit a thing.
Yeah.
And I felt so stupid. And at the same time, I felt like, holy shit, this woman is brilliant. Mm-hmm. I was like, what was your job? She was a translator at the UN in the 70s. And she would grammatically change
to make it flow in that language.
But she was on the fly. Like she would have to like, somebody would say something and then they would translate it. And then she would by hand change the grammar so that these 10 different ambassadors could understand it. And she would just be passing it around. In the 70s.
That's intense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane job, right? And so doing it, my 2 offices were Washington, D.C. and Richmond, Virginia. And so working with these like brilliant people and understanding the industry. For 10 years, I just did hoarding. Fell in love with it, got on Hoarders by accident, and nobody wanted to do it, is the short answer there. Mm-hmm. Literally, and then, they asked everybody.
We deal with it a lot too, is like you talk about the emotions and what we find, and I'd love to hear your perspective on it. But when you're dealing with it, if it's my mom, if it's her mom, if it's her aunt, there's this like almost kind of disconnect of wanting to hear the story sometimes. And so like having someone like us who comes in as a third party that will listen to the story, because sometimes those stories have deeper roots in the trauma in the family.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Right.
I would love to hear your mom's hoarding stories.
Yeah.
Because to me, they're new. But to you, if you're the child of the hoarder, your life was different because of those stories. Mm-hmm. Friends were not allowed to come over because of those stories.
There's hurt and shame.
You got abused because of that.
Yeah.
So the children of hoarders is actually the hardest situation because they didn't ask for this. Neither did the hoarder, but the hoarder still had some control of the life. The children of the hoarder they're done, man. Like their life is significantly different, and they're trying to make a generational change. And so, for the child of the hoarder, it's like they're like, I don't want anything to do with this. Like, screw this lady. And they're angry, and I'm like, oh, she's magnificent. She's back. Like you gotta hear
like,
her.
no, you don't even
they're
know.
Like, F you, dude. I got no interest in this.
Yeah.
And so I had to navigate that. Mm-hmm. But like you have to respect the room. That's what I always say. Mm-hmm. Like whoever is in the room, whatever family member's in the room. The family's been trying for years, and now a individual, an independent party walks into the room, and we clean it in a week.
Right.
And they've been trying for 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's that tug and pull and the emotional heaviness, and then everybody gives up, and the things.
But we're
like
not
that.
attached to that.
Right.
And so I always say, like, man, families shouldn't clean the hoard. Now, the senior downsizing, I love for the families to be there because I want them to hear the stories.
Yeah.
For the hoarder, I don't want the family there because they're done.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be excited. Like, they've been waiting for this clean out for 20 years, and then the house gets cleaned, and they're still angry. All the trauma and damage that's happened over 20 years is not gone. They're just looking in an empty room.
Right.
And so they're like supposed to be happy.
So your new show, Filthy Fortunes, I think is a good segue. So do you find that when you're doing those big hoard cleans, because at the end of your show, I'll tell you, like, the family always walks in and they're like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe this. But do you see off camera that other side of it that then they kind of are like, but wait, now I'm still left with my own emotions, right? The stuff is gone, but my emotion is still in there.
100%. So it's this thing we call the hoarder hangover. It's 2 days after the cleanup. And you have to tell the hoarder, hey, you're going to be devastated tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You're super happy. It's all regret. You're super happy right now. this is amazing. And by the way, on that show, on the show Filthy Fortunes, I sold everything. So I'm also handing them like 20 grand cash.
Like a ton, and in cash. Like I remember, you just
Stack
like
of
pull it
cash.
out of your pocket.
I pull it out of my back pocket. It's a
And
stack
which
of cash.
also, and I heard you on another podcast where like that's also we're like, oh no, he can't be giving the money because
They're going to go spend it.
well, no, that too, but also like we're like, no, most of the time people don't have stuff that's worth anything, and so like, please don't tell people it's worth something.
Well, so let's have that conversation. So I actually have turned my brain on that. I now believe that there's $5,000 in every house. Is there 50 grand in every house? Absolutely.
I love
not.
that number. That seems
Yeah.
There's
reasonable.
not
That
five,
is a
there's
good number.
not
That's
50
doable.
grand.
Yeah.
There is $5,000 in every house.
So this is why 2 days later our clients call.
Yes,
and
with
go,
the upset of like
they were super happy and we're a little confused. Like,
Oh, they're going to name their
why-
kid
Yeah.
after you on
Yeah.
Sunday. When you finish the job on
Right.
Saturday afternoon, they're like, I'm naming my children after you.
Right, but
Yeah.
then 2 days later they're
That's
like,
what-
but wait, I just found this,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Where's this?
Where's
but
this?
wait, you
Yeah.
were
Where's
Where's
super
this? Someone stole a
excited.
$2 bill.
yeah.
Like,
Like, bitch, I just gave you 50 grand. Like, what are you talking about?
Sierra was just talking about like we do photo inventory, and she was like, we got a call from a client several days later. Well, this you took the whatever, and it's like something nobody wants. And she showed him like the before and after picture of it in the cabinet.
And she agreed
in the
that it was
cabinet. Yeah, like
Yes.
it's there.
Yes.
So it has
So
nothing to do
it's
with
like,
that.
it has nothing to do
It's
with
more
it.
loss.
Yeah,
It's more
It's the-
trauma.
yep.
It is.
And
And I
so-
need to blame someone
and
for
it's
the loss.
control. And if it's a partnership, this is when it gets really complicated. So like the husband typically. So if you watch the shows I've been on, it looks like hoarding is 65-year-old white women
right,
with cats.
yeah,
That's
Lots of
not the
cats.
case. A lot of cats. Cats thing is real. It's easy. Cats is easy love.
Yeah,
It's the most amount of love you can receive for the least amount of affection. All of that being said, it's not that 65-year-old white women are the most hoarders. Men actually hoard at a higher rate. Men hoard at a 51% rate. Women hoard at a 49% rate. But women are more likely to go through the shame and embarrassment to get the help to
Yeah.
fix their family.
Totally.
Yep.
I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
Yeah.
We get most of our state cleanouts are males. So what does that mean? They kept the secret till they died.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
the same client. They're just dead.
right.
We still have to read the client. We have to figure out where the stuff, all that stuff. I will say, I lost the question. What was the whole point of the question?
Which is the emotion
Yeah.
behind.
And,
Well,
like,
yeah.
the day
Oh,
after.
Like the
the
day
men.
after.
The day after. The hoarding hangover is very real. You have to say it ahead of time. You have to say to the client, like, right out, give them their journey, give them their excitement for an hour, and then you pull them aside privately and say, hey, look, your family's happy right now. Your husband's really happy right now. Everybody got the space they wanted. You got some cash. This is great. You're going to be devastated tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you tell them, and by the way, you'll be happy again on Tuesday. So you have to tell them the whole emotional
Yeah.
journey.
So you get
gotta,
this cycle.
You got to let it pass.
Because they've had trauma that has lasted for decades.
Right.
They
Right.
don't know that the trauma is going to end.
Right.
And we say, this is just aftershock. Like, don't worry about it. It's normal. You should feel this way.
Right.
And by the way, write down everything you're feeling. I need you to, because otherwise they're going to call you every 10 minutes. You're going to get 100 emails.
Yep.
And so you say to them, hey, and by the way, you can't, it's hard to charge for that.
Mm-hmm.
You've already got paid.
right.
Right.
You know, and how do you go back and be like, girl, you've been crying to me, so this is another, it's another $200. You know, you can't. So I say and say, hey, look, be prepared. You're gonna have all these emotions. It's valid. It's real. It's okay. It means you're actually doing it right.
Right.
It's probably like that, the psychologicalness of you've got all this stuff and it's taking up so much mental space and you don't realize it's taking up so much mental space until it's gone. But then once it's gone, I would imagine then it goes in from like kind of your head to your heart, and then you've got the heart emotion, but then you get back into your head and realize I got way more space in here. I got time.
Well, so one thing that's bad is when it's the husband and the wife takes all the blame. I promise you, if the family's still there, so if it's really all the wife, the husband usually will leave. The husband doesn't stick around.
Which makes
so if the
sense.
husband is still there, it's both of them.
Yeah.
It's just the mom has taken all the blame to survive.
Right.
So when we're cleaning, the wife has accepted this and acknowledged it for years, sometimes decades. So she's okay with the cleaning. The husband is like, oh, my wife's so messy. Blah, 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 blah. Don't take my tools. Don't take this. And so mid clean out, he's realizing mid clean out, he's the
It's
problem.
him.
Right.
And then you clean the house out and you're like, congratulations. And he's still an asshole.
Right.
You got rid of the clutter.
Right.
But that guy's still a jerk, and he's been a jerk for 10 years, and there's a lot of valid reasons why, but he's not going to change his behavior. And so that's why on the hoarding side, we actually mandate therapy for the entire family.
Right.
ethically, we don't think it's right to clean a house unless everybody's in therapy. Because mathematically, we know if you go to therapy, there's about a 60% chance the house will stay clean.
Yeah.
If you don't go to therapy, it's 100% guarantee it'll fill back up.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially when you hand them $20,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like go get your stuff. Then they're probably on the streets trying to go, hey,
get
get
their
your
stuff
stuff back.
So we changed about 10 years ago. We changed the way where we don't donate any of the stuff to local donation centers because we had a lady that went back to Goodwill and bought her own stuff back.
Yeah. What do you think? We talk about this all the time, like the evolution of senior move management or even just downsizing, hoarding with our generation. You know, like our parents. You talk a lot about people who have suffered through the war, people who have gone through the Depression, things like that. And when those folks start, what are your predictions about accumulation?
Love this. Okay, accumulation is very real. The next generation is actually turning into our grandparents. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 50.
We're 40.
We're 40.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a little younger than me. But same music. So we'll say we're the same
If
age.
it's good.
Yeah. We'll say we're the same age. This is what I believe. Our kids are more minimalists. They care about less because the quality of stuff isn't there. They also don't have their family time is defined in different places. Like our family time was in the dining room.
Yep.
Our kids' generation, their family time was on the way to a game, on the way to the lake, on the way to the ski house, whatever your regional thing is. Like we didn't have ski houses. We weren't poor. We just didn't have more stuff. So we've gone on this like 50-year accumulation bin, and anything is cyclical. And so they were on the back end of that. And so I actually think, by the way, I was an economist before I did this. I don't know if you guys know that. I worked at the Federal Reserve. Yeah, I worked at the Federal Reserve. I was an economist for Federal Reserve and for Caesar's Palace. So I love this question. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I see happening is politically as well. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. But if you're not on my side, you're wrong. I'll say that. What I believe is I don't care if you're rich or poor, and that's where we're divided now. It's not about ethics or race. It's about rich and poor. And those of us that are poor, and by the way, if any of us are listening, we are poor. We are not rich. Used goods are going to become a very hot commodity. I have talked to Amazon. They are trying to build a used goods marketplace. If Amazon is trying to build a used goods marketplace, Walmart is trying to look at a used goods marketplace.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
One of the largest, Goodwill is now the 4th largest retailer in the U.S.
Is this true?
They're the largest.
Thrifting is popular now.
Thrifting is popular, but what you're going to see in the next year is it's actually going to become necessity. So I'm seeing in the houses, like what's really been weird about filming season 2 of Filthy Fortunes is we sell all the stuff out of the house. We got 3 days to empty the house. And so we actually do a yard sale. You don't see it on the show. But that's how we get the numbers so high. Is like 500 people show up because they want to meet us.
Sure. And
I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'd love to take a picture with you, but buy something over here, right? And so we're selling the bucket of tools. We're selling the stuff that we used to donate 10 years ago.
Right.
In this business. I would donate truckloads. I have not had a donation pickup this year.
Wow.
We're selling everything. And people are buying at small numbers. They're buying lots of tools. They're buying lots of, everything. And people, it's going to get bad. Money-wise, I believe that. And so I think used goods are becoming more. So actually, ironically, in our industry, I think we're in a really good place. But you have to provide solutions to sell this stuff.
We were talking about like accumulation is different, but also the mentality of like hiring things out. Those generations didn't, everything was DIY. Everything was do it yourself, find a neighbor, find a friend. Our generation is... your groceries are delivered. Everything is, you want everything done for you. So we see like our business changing because it's now going to be a necessity. But is the content going to be? It's just interesting how this
content's
going to
be different. Content is not as high quality. You're not going to have a dining room table that survives 50 years.
Right.
No.
It was like from
Ikea.
It's
a kitchen island now.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's gotten replaced.
It's not even nobody.
We don't
have
it.
We have 7 kids and we don't have a dining room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody eats.
It's a music room.
Do you have a big island?
Yeah. We have
and everyone eats around the island. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And nobody uses China anymore because you can't put it in the dishwasher.
Nope.
So
I do tell my clients to use it now.
We do too.
Yeah.
And we're like, if you have
use
a Swarovski crystal, you might as well use it.
Put it in the dishwasher.
I go, be crazy, put it in the dishwasher.
Right.
I know. Just try it.
What's going to happen? Your mom's dead. She's not going to get mad.
Right.
It's okay.
Just don't put it in the microwave because it might explode the house.
The gold on it.
I think you're going to see people really use what they have. I think digital hoarding is a real thing. I do think there's going to be a system in the next 10 years. This is where I get. So let me paint the picture for you. I am a minimalist, but I'm also a prepper. Like I'm a minimalist that has 10 days of food because I actually think shit's going to get bad. And I know that I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but like I do think we're going to lose the internet for a while. Like that's what World War III looks like. It's the internet shuts down. And how do you think your kids are going to do with no internet for 10 days?
Start to twitch.
It's going to be crazy, right? So, and I'm not trying.
see
Y'all
their
didn't know.
face
Yeah,
again.
y'all didn't know I was going to say this, but like I really believe like when we look at futurist stuff, like I do think we're going to have a throwback to like we're going to need grandpa's tools all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like
We're going to have to learn those basic skills.
we're going to have to learn basic
have
skills
to.
again. And I can't. I kind of hope it happens. I would love to go back to like I'd love to just come down 20% as a society, and chill. But I do think you're going to see in the next 10 years, used goods become really, really a commodity that are really important, and we need them. And people are now purchasing. I will tell you, the kids like for me, a much more happier version of this story is like when I started this 20 years ago, getting rid of grandma's fur coat was like the hardest thing to do. I was afraid Peter was going to show up at my house and fight and all that. But like now, it's the first thing the kids want. And so I have like grandma's, like it's really fun for me now when I'm doing estate cleanouts when the granddaughter goes into grandma's closet and she's looking for like, I mean, this is crazy, but like grandma's old lingerie is one of the hottest things that we sell now. Not for weird reasons, but like the daughter wants to wear, granddaughter wants to wear it as a shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
And
because that's what they are now.
That's what they are, exactly. And like, we just went to New York with my stepdaughter for 9 days. And like, I mean, like you do all these, like grandma's closet is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now my argument is now, wait a minute, add an hour to that process and ask grandma where she wore it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like get her to tell you where she wore that.
So then when you wear it, now it takes on something
like
else.
we had a client watching this happen and she's like, oh, I used to wear that to a club in New York. And we very quickly found out that club was Studio 54.
Oh,
wow.
And I was like, and I clearly, the granddaughter had no clue
what it even was.
that like grandma was doing coke with Andy, Andy Warhol,
Yeah.
And I'm looking at grandma and I'm like, I literally said,
I
are
know.
you sure you want me to tell this story? And she's like, go for it.
Yeah, you were having a good time.
And I go, I mean, grandma's like a hot 75-year-old lady,
Right.
Well,
Well, you forget, I think, when you're going through that stuff, because I will say, I actually have all of my grandmother's furs, and I wear them. Like, and I go to the National Western Stock Show because they sell furs there, so I can walk around and not have it,
He does after you.
He does not. He does not
Coming
come
at- yeah,
at
you live in
me
a tough town
at
for
the
that.
beef
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
convention. But it is like when you were younger and you meet when you realize who your grandma is, she's older, right?
Yep.
She's in her 70s, 80s, 90s, and you're like, my grandma was never young. She was never hip. She never went to clubs. Like that wasn't grandma. But then you
grandma
learn those
was
stories,
awesome.
and then you're like, man, my grandma was so cool. Like that is who I want to be like.
there's a meme, or is it meme, whatever, I don't know how you say it. There's a picture on the internet of like, hey guys, this is what your grandma looked like in 1975. And she's just like smoking hot girl with tight jeans and long hair.
Yes.
I tell, if you've ever seen me, I think this story was in my book. If you ever seen me tell the story about Armando, we were cleaning we have this story called, and one of the tools in our cleanup business is called Hot Grandma. And it never fails, no matter what house you find, there's a picture of grandma looking like crazy hot.
Oh yeah.
And so we hold that picture for when the cleanout gets complicated. So we have a system where every hour we bring something interesting or positive.
Oh, I love that.
Every
Yeah.
hour. And so we keep a box in the back room that's empty. And we do room by room. So we'll put like 6 guys in one room. Because if you break it up, then you just like, if the room goes down 10% a room, it looks like it's never going to get clean.
Right.
So we do a full room. We'll throw the whole team at it. Full room empty, full room empty. So we keep one room just for good stuff. And every hour someone either brings money or a cool story or a curious story. Like, what
is this?
Tell
Yeah.
me
Right.
what this is.
Right.
So whenever it gets really bad, we say, hi, Grandma. And I say, go get me hot Grandma. And we bring the picture around. And one time we're in a house and it's granddaughter, mom, who's my age, and then Grandma. And we bring this picture and this girl's looking fine. It's clearly from the war. She's wearing a skirt that's way too short. She's smoking a cigarette. And we're like, hey, who's this? And it goes the same way every time. Who's this? Oh, that's me. You don't say. And it's like this really weird, awkward flirting thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's totally effective, right?
Yeah.
And so we teach it. We do it everywhere we go. And so she's like, oh, that's me. And then the granddaughter goes, who's that? That's not Grandpa.
Oh.
And she goes, oh, that's Armando. And she says it like, oh, Armando. And she goes, he was my lover. And she got really excited. And we were like, what?
This is a cool story.
And you're like, what? And the granddaughter's like, granddaughter's
Yeah.
mouth's on the floor. And she's like, that was the year they let women teach at MIT. And she goes, so I was teaching art history. And she goes, Armando was a Spanish professor. She goes, we fell in love. We had a torrid love affair. And she kept talking about how much sex they were having, right? Which was very uncomfortable for the entire room.
Yes.
But this is grandma, right? And grandma's like dirty, man. And she's telling us stuff. And the daughter and the mom are just like, they can't believe it. And we're all like, tell us more. Like, we want to know everything about Armando. And she's like, well, she goes, he moved back the next year. And then your grandfather came back from the war, and I met him that next summer, and we were married for 60 years.
Wow.
And the daughter goes, you taught at MIT?
That's what she took away from this
That
story.
was her. And she's like, yeah, I was the first female adjunct professor at MIT.
Wow.
And so it's my favorite story of anything I've ever done. I tell it all the time. So if you've heard it, I'm sorry. I love that story. And by the way, she loves that I tell that story. She's still alive. She's like, tell everybody. You know, I mean, she loves it.
That's great.
And but like, she's not only proud that she was banging Armando, she's proud that she was married to her husband for 60 years. She's proud that she was the first female adjunct professor. Like, there's so many more complex layers to grandma.
From that one photo.
And that is what I am telling you is so great about our career.
Yeah.
Right.
That is an opportunity to buy. And by the way, the dress that this is the best part of it. I always forget it. The dress she's wearing in the picture, of course we found it in the attic.
Oh, man.
And so the granddaughter ended up turning that into handkerchiefs for all her bridesmaids.
Cool.
And she told everybody that story.
The story.
Yeah.
Right. And so it lives on.
Right.
And so like one of the things you'll hear me talk a lot about is like, I lost my dad at a very early age. My dad, my stepdad, both my grandfathers. So like I'm still telling stories about all those men on stage all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They've been dead for 25 years. They've been dead longer than they were. Like my
And
dad.
you remember them alive.
They've been gone longer in my life
Yeah.
than they were in my life.
Yeah.
And the irony is like my dad gave me my career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my dad would love that, by the way. He would like think that's the coolest thing in the world. But like, I want to keep their stories alive. And so this is why I tell all these stories. And anyone listening, like you guys asked me before we started, they're like, what do you care about? I'm like, it's the emotions. That's what I care about. It's the emotions that hold us back. It's the emotions that keep us from moving during the process. And what we always forget is like, we're not clear. My wife tells me this, like minimalism is not about having nothing. It's about having just enough so that you like have space for the things that matter the most. And if you don't know, my wife's a pretty big minimalist expert. She's listening, so I'm giving a plug for her. Raising Simple is her Instagram. Raising Simple. It's a really good follow. She really taught me minimalism when we met, and it changed my whole view on stuff. Even though I was on Hoarders for 15 years, living as a practical minimalist made me really get rid of the dumb stuff. Mm-hmm. And we have 7 kids, and so with 7 kids, like everything's expensive. And for us, the only thing, like our family time is actually not cooking. We don't like to cook because it's Thanksgiving dinner every night. We're 9 people.
Yeah.
Right.
And if her mom's there, we're 10 or 11. Like it gets really big. And so we go out a lot. Like we eat out 3-4 nights a week. And people think we're crazy, but like that's our family time. Mm-hmm. That's when we connect. If she and I had to clean and do dishes for 10 people every night, we're not able to relax. We're not able to have fun.
Right.
And so we do spend a lot of money on food, and we're okay with that because like that's our family time. Mm-hmm. And that's when we bond. And when we don't have a lot of stuff, so we can do that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and so I just tell everybody, like, whatever you do, get your family time because that's what matters most. But the stuff that I'm getting rid of, like the stuff your grandma had in the living room, it mattered to her because that was where she had her family.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I always hear that word, nobody wants your stuff. What I'll tell you is it's not that nobody wants your stuff. I'm saying this to our clients. It's that they don't want that stuff. They don't want like the dining room. Mm-hmm. But like they do want grandma's coat.
Yeah.
Right.
They want something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I got my dad's chair.
Yeah.
I love my dad's chair. Mm-hmm. Still have it.
I have my grandma's diamond bracelet.
Yeah.
Like that was the one thing I asked.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I know I'm one of several girls, but like that's the only thing I want.
Yeah.
So if I can have that.
Yeah.
But we hold on to stuff. I mean, if I have to summarize my 25-year career, we hold on to stuff because of the people that are attached to it. Mm-hmm. Physically or you gave it to me. I mean, I have a lot of clients. I wrote a chapter about this in my book, The Guilt. And AARP did not want me to put this in the book. And I'll be like, hey, like, why are we holding? Oh, my grandma would be really upset if I got rid of it. And when did your grandma die? 1988. So you're still afraid of this woman? Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm like, do you use this? Nope. And oftentimes it'll be like a whole living room that they don't go into.
Right.
Right.
But they don't want to get rid of that furniture because they don't want to upset a woman that died 40 years ago.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, and some people, one of my favorite clients, I did a podcast with her actually, and I didn't really understand it at the time. It was right after COVID, so it was kind of a weird time in general. And I didn't really understand, like her house looked like a museum. It was just antiques everywhere. And I couldn't, like, to the point where it was the high chair that she was in as a child, kind of.
Which, by the way, I can't legally sell.
Oh, really?
No, those high chairs are, you can't sell
yeah,
them.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You need kid stuff.
No.
Yeah, but keep going.
Yes. But I didn't really understand it. And we walked downstairs and she had this whole bookshelf full of books. And she was like, do you read? And I said, yeah, I love to read. She's like, would you like to read one of my books? I was like, I'd love to read one of your books. So she handed me a book. It's just a normal visit, consultation. Yeah. We're moving her to such and such. I get home, I start reading this book. And I remember feeling like I had this feeling that the stuff that she was really tied to, I just didn't get. I didn't understand. We all have those clients. Like, you just kind of don't get it. And she, really needed to move and that sort of thing. I started reading the book and I'm like bawling my eyes out. And I call her and I'm like, oh my God, it's the piano. And I'm like, you don't understand until you hear the story, why it matters. And it's so important. So we gave a copy of that book to every one of our staff. And we said, you need to understand why the house matters, why the piano matters. And that is for that one specific client, but that's the same thing. You got to find why that thing matters and ask the better questions about it, because sometimes we get into it and it, we don't get it, but it's that story. And I mean, hers is a very deep and horribly painful
Yeah. Oh, the best stories are usually tragic.
Yeah, just horribly painful and tragic. And her husband had passed away during COVID, during that time. And she had to grieve and let him die, just the two of them. She's one of like my idols. I just feel like she went through breast cancer. She, her husband died during COVID in their house and all the things. And, I'm just like, the piano, I'm like, if that's what you're going to die on the sword over, fine. Like, fine. Let that be.
So let's take that further. Great. If you insist on taking the piano, let's take it.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a Christmas sing-along at that piano.
Yeah.
We're going to go make new memories on
Yes.
that piano. We're not just going to relive the old ones.
Yeah.
And that's where I've really switched in the last 5 years. For me, it's not about the chair. It's about who sat in the chair.
Yeah.
So we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just how we say it at our company. It doesn't matter. The chair doesn't matter. It's who sat there or who no longer sits there. Right. But I want to hear that story regardless.
Yeah.
My estimates, when I go to do a consultation, as you say now I just go in and I'd be like, I look around, and especially with a hoarder. I changed this about 5 years ago, and I walk into a hoarder house, and instead of being like, ooh, it's pretty full. And then I tweaked it to, I've seen so many hoards. I'd be like, okay. And on the phone, I'd say, can I see the floor anywhere in the house? I'd be like, well, yeah. I say, do you have 300 cats? I say, no. 300 cats. Yeah, I had one client that had 300 cats. And she's like, no, I have like 17. I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. Think how deep that is what I just did there.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of asking how many cats you had,
Yeah.
then they're going to lie to me. They're going to say 3.
Or they're going to feel shame and
Or they're gonna be
embarrassment. Yeah.
So I go to the highest
number.
So I
Yeah.
know it's going to be below.
Yeah.
Right.
And I say, can you see the floor at all? Well, yeah, a couple places. I say, great. Do you have 300 cats? No, I got like 17. Great. Can I see out any window in your house? Yeah. Yeah, on the second floor, a couple of windows you can see out. I go, great. Ma'am, you are not in my top 100.
That's great. That's a great,
That's actually a good,
leveling
leveling the field.
Yes, leveling the field for everybody.
And then she'd be like, oh my God, someone's house is like that? I go, yeah. I go, look, I'm sure your kids think your house is gross, but I don't know if it's messy enough for me to clean. Like, I clean the messiest houses in the world.
That's
and I go,
great.
I really
Yeah.
don't. I'm not
Reframe.
sure. I'm not sure that you qualify for my services. Can I come by and check it out?
Yeah.
And then I walk through and I go, great. And this is if you're listening today, this is what I really want to say. When you're struggling with someone that has too much stuff, reframe this. Instead of saying, wow, you have too much shit. And I did that for years. And now I say, wow, you loved a lot of people. If they have a house full of stuff, that means at one point their life was awesome.
Yep.
And I say, tell me about those people.
Yeah.
And so when we're walking around the house doing the estimate, I'm still figuring out the cost. But I'm like, hey, where did the Christmas tree go? Do you know how long of a conversation that is? Where'd you put the Christmas tree? Well, first I look on the door frame to make sure they would have a Christmas tree. Look for the Jewish, what is it?
The mezuzah.
Mezuzah. I used to think it was a cigarette holder. It's not.
No,
Don't
it's
make that
definitely not
mistake.
Put out your cigarette.
Don't make that mistake. I made some horrible mistakes in my career. But I say, where's the Christmas tree? Where'd you guys? What was the best meal of Thanksgiving? And then I just get to that open-ended question and just let them go. And so the whole time we're walking around this, I'm hearing these incredible stories.
Yeah.
My new question is, hey, you can't start with this, but as I get to know them, I say, hey, what's the coolest thing you've seen in your lifetime? Like, what's the coolest invention?
Yeah.
You'd be amazed the questions that come out. Like one lady was like, well, first time I saw a car, that was pretty amazing. These are people that are alive today.
Right.
You know, spaceship's pretty incredible. One lady, she had hair curlers that she couldn't believe them. She's not hair curlers. She's like, I'm from West Virginia. That changed. That's like 4 hours. I had one lady. This is a true story. She was on Legacy List with us, the show I had on PBS for a while. She goes, oh, a water pump. She goes, water pump changed my life. And I go, what do you mean? She's like, I grew up on a tobacco farm in Virginia. She was a young African-American woman. Her father was somehow a landowner in the 20s in Virginia, which is a much bigger statement than you realize.
Yeah. Yep.
And no one understood how he got the land, but he was a tobacco farm. But she had to walk to the river, and it was like 2 miles each way. And she would walk to the river for water for the family. So she had to walk every morning. That was her job. And she's telling us the story, and she goes, when we got a water pump, she goes, I was able to just pump it really quick. And so I got about 4 hours a day extra. And she goes, then my dad taught me to read, and I started getting to read. She goes, that's when books changed my life. Now, her story, and we told it on the TV show, it ended up, she was the first African-American woman to get an MBA from Harvard.
Wow. And
she's like, that water pump allowed me to read. I wouldn't have gone to Harvard without that. And her story's even better. You're going to love her story. I said, why did you decide to go to Harvard? She goes, because they told me no.
Love that.
She goes, I didn't want to go to Harvard. Yeah. She goes, I didn't want to go to Harvard. She goes, she went to Howard. She's like, I really just wanted to stay at Howard. But when they told her no, she decided, okay, well, I'm going to get in. Yeah. She didn't know she was the first African-American person to go to Harvard. Or she didn't know. But she got in. She started. There's no place for people of color at this. So she started the African-American Student Union at Harvard.
Love that.
This woman, she worked nights cleaning out the Pentagon, like cleaning out in D.C., cleaning out, like she was a janitor. And she worked all the way through that, went to Harvard, got her MBA. She still owns, she's 83. She still owns the business that cleans the Pentagon. Like today.
Whoa.
She still owns it. She cleans like some 20-some buildings.
Oh, wow.
Like this woman is, she in it all because of she was just a client, y'all. Like I didn't know any of this. She just started and then I find out like, this is probably my favorite thing. We ended up becoming really good friends. I was like, you need to be doing more public speaking. Like you're amazing. Like your story's incredible. So she started doing public speaking. And a couple years ago, I got bumped. I was supposed to give the keynote, and
it was her.
And they got her, and I got bumped for her. So then I was like, "No, she made a better speech."
Like
she's
hats
incredible.
off to you.
Oh, dude, and she made more money than I did too. Like she's making money. I mean, she's a hustler. But like these are the people that are in our houses, and I think like earlier to your comment, like we forget that like our this is someone's grandma.
Yeah,
right.
Now I did a TV show on her, and now someone's doing a documentary about her. And her granddaughter came up to me. She's like, "I didn't know my grandma did all that stuff."
Yeah,
right.
So for the granddaughter, it was normal.
Yeah,
she was just this tough old lady to the granddaughter. Now we have a unique, this is kind of a recruiting thing for our industry. Like that is a Tuesday for me.
Yeah, right. We say all the time, like
Exactly.
the best feeling is the hug at the end and the welcome home.
Hug and
and
check.
I tell her all the time, like it's when we say welcome home, I get teary eyed every single time I say it. And I'm like, because that is such like whatever journey we did to get you here, whatever that looked like, what a great feeling that we get to do every day.
Hug and a check. All of our guys carry two shirts in the truck every day because you're going to get so much makeup on your shirt from hugging. If you're finishing the job, you have to change it out. Because we want to be clean going to the next house.
Well, we always love too that,
but if you don't get that hug, then we think we did it wrong.
We do.
Right.
Yeah. And I love
What
it too
happened
when you
if I
leave
don't
and
get
they
a
go,
hug?
well, now we have to work together. I had a client say, well, we have to work together now because you know all my dirty, dark secrets. And I'm like, what was funny is that her and I were very entwined. And I'm like, well, you kind of know mine too. So I guess we're bound for life.
We
together.
hire a lot of them. Honestly, a lot of them end up becoming employees.
Or adult daughters. We get a lot of adult daughters that join us. And
OAD.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love that.
Oldest adult daughter.
Yeah.
It's the most important person in our industry.
Yeah.
So we're selling franchises now for my business, Clutter Cleaner. And so far, it's all but one is the oldest adult daughter.
Interesting.
Wow.
That she went through it 4 or 5 times with her friends, hired us, and then realized they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's our business.
I mean, it's not easy work, but it definitely is fulfilling work.
Extremely fulfilling.
It's extremely fulfilling.
This is going to be a very odd question. How quickly do you fall asleep at night?
Well, that's a convoluted question.
I'm out. I'll say this. I used to stay up all night. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so fulfilled and so tired.
Yeah.
When I hit the bed, it might just be a guy thing then.
I was thinking that maybe
Well, I
that
will
is.
say,
I'm also able to not think about my kids
I fall
when I go to bed.
asleep quickly, but it is the staying asleep. But it's not work that's keeping me up.
Yeah.
It's usually a little poke on the side that you're like,
Yeah. No, I'm out, man. I love it because I'm just so fulfilled. I know that I've made a difference each day.
Yeah.
And that sounds crazy.
yeah.
But I also, like, sometimes it does wake me up because there's, like, certain things because we want to do our job so well and we want to do it so completely. We want them to feel like they are our only client. And so there's, like, something you're like, oh, man, I need to wake up and, like, you know, write it down. Like, oh, man, you got to call so-and-so to make sure that's set up.
We lost a jade vase.
Oh, wow.
We lost it. And it's probably worth like $30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She thought we stole it. It was my 18. There's no way it was stolen. I said, it's going to show up. It's going to show up. I promise you. I said, don't pay me until it shows up. This is like a $20,000 job.
Yeah. She's
like, I have to pay you, Matthew. I was like, no. Just trust me. You're going to think we stole it if you don't. I go, I get it. I promise you it'll show up. We moved her, for like 3 weeks. And then in my dream, I figured out where it was. I woke up and I was like, it's in the foyer. And I waited till like 8 a.m. and I said, go look in the foyer right now.
And she found it.
Oh, it's in the drop drawer. Exactly where it was. It's just, I forgot.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I go, great, please pay me. We're broke. Like, I got to make payroll. Like, I got payroll on Friday.
I waited.
But it was just like, even that, like, she was so upset with us. She was devastated because she thought, like, not only did she think she was missing something from her mom, she thought people that she now trusted and let into her life had wronged her, which is more trauma.
It is.
Right.
So she was going through this roller coaster of emotions. And
the clients who think that we did a bad job, not because we didn't do, something. It's that, like, almost kind of like hitting your integrity of like who you are. The adult daughter who's an attorney who is like, you're just taking advantage of seniors. And you're like, no, we wouldn't be in business. Like, that's the stuff that just devastates you because you're like, we literally give our blood, sweat, and tears to what we do.
So I was saying, time tells the truth. And I'll say it again, time tells the truth. And I think it solves all our issues in life. Like, people, business, I'm just now, like, I went through a very dark time in our industry. I built a national company and I brought 2 guys in that ended up not being good people. And they devastated a couple they left 160 movers, like 160 clients they took their money and didn't move them. And luckily I had left the industry. I'd left the company, but like they made everyone doubt me. And I think you probably know the story.
Yeah.
And I really, it's taken me a long time to heal from it. And now I kept, one day I was like, time tells the truth, man. Like, people will eventually know. Those guys have moved on. Some of them gone to jail. They've gotten all of that. Time told the truth.
Yeah.
I tell it to my clients. I say, I know you're upset right now. I promise you we're doing ethically right. We're doing this right.
We're doing it right.
Time will tell the truth. And it always does.
Yeah.
People in your life, when it's negative, I promise you, time will tell the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's either it's good or bad, but like in our industry, when we get challenged, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because we've given it everything we got.
Everything we got.
Yeah.
And we've both been to therapy over a client that's like ripped apart like who we feel we are at our core, Yep. And that's the thing is, like, when you are in this caregiving space, people sometimes forget that that's why you got into it in the first place, is because you have a servant's heart, because you want to make a difference, you want to make change.
If they don't know your middle name, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I say that to my guys all the time.
If they're not going to be at your funeral too, that's the other one I always hear all the time. Like, if they're not at your funeral, then why does it matter?
So I came up with that when we were making a wedding list. I was like, if they don't know my middle name, we shouldn't invite them.
That's a good cutoff.
That keeps it real. It didn't work. It didn't work for weddings.
Didn't work.
But I will say, I tell all my guys, if they don't know your name, it doesn't matter. It's not about you. It's about something else. And it usually is. And it's never about the stuff. It is never about the stuff. No. It's about the people or the emotions attached to it. And we are very lucky to be in that journey with these people. I think we have the best job in the world. Like, I can't believe I can raise my family off of helping people.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I love it every day.
If you had to give one, I don't know, anecdote, word of advice, whatever, to someone who feels paralyzed to start, what would it be?
I've started saying this a lot at senior living communities. I hope this works. I love this. I like you. I'll say it differently. I combine these two. My we have 6 boys, so he's now 14. A 14-year-old. He was 13 at the time. He came home from school. He's like, Dad, he's very unemotional, like extremely unemotional to me. And he goes, Dad, I read at school that the average man, this is my imitation of his voice. He goes, I read the average man only lives to 72. He's like, you're 50. He goes, how does it feel to be in the last 30 of your life? And he was genuinely curious. Like, genuinely just wanted to know what I thought. was like, well, it felt great until you said it that way. I go,
So you were like, I'm dying.
Just getting started. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just getting my crap together. I feel like I'm killing it. Like, I'm okay with it. But he's not wrong. And so I challenge a lot of my clients. I say, guys, like you're over that. A lot of my clients, I'm like, you're past that. You're on borrowed time now. Let's be really blunt. I go, you're on, like, do you really want to spend the next 5 years? And I'll take that further. You could now argue that, like, every day is the most healthiest I'll be for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I know that's a very morbid statement, but I do argue that with my clients. Say, dude, you're never going to be healthier than you are today. Do you really want to spend that looking at pictures from Acapulco in 1988? Or do you want to go to Acapulco with your wife and create new memories? And so I just tell everybody, like, your shit is holding you back. Sorry, I'm cussing. Your stuff is holding you back from new memories. You're holding on to this stuff because of old memories. But, like, we got to focus on new memories. Like, that's why we're here. You worked your entire life for now. Like, let's do it. And I think minimalism's helped me really embrace that. But, like, I tell my clients, like, dude, you go to Acapulco. Like, let me clean your house. Like, get out of here. Go on a trip. It'll be done when you get home, and you can move. You can do whatever you want to do. You can stay. I don't give a shit. Like, do what you want, but, like, don't let this stuff hold you back. And I will tell you that, like, the borrow, when I start looking at time as a currency, that has been a big mindset for me, because I'm 50. Like, I'm not old.
You're in the last third.
But I'm in the last third. You're exactly right. And so I really, like, do I really want to? And worrying for me is a big part of my life. Like, I could spend days worrying about nothing, and I really believe worrying is a choice. And this is all combined to stuff. Like, we worry about stuff. What are we going to get for it?
Yeah.
What
It's the thief of joy, they say.
Yeah.
Worry is the thief of joy.
It is. Or we could just keep living.
Yeah.
And get rid of this crap. And so I've really gotten simple on it. I love it. What was the other? I had one other, but I think that, I just put the value on your time. Also value your time at $25 an hour. Anything you're doing in your home is $25 an hour. So, like, if you think you're going to try to get, $200 for that couch, and it's going to take you 8 hours on Marketplace, because it will. It'll take you 8 hours to sell a crappy couch for $200 if they ever show up. You got to sell it for $200 to break even, to get to zero. Like, or what could you spend that 8 hours doing?
Right.
Going for a bike ride with your granddaughter.
Yeah, we
taking
talked a
them out for
lot
ice
this
cream.
weekend at conference about, like, finding the value in our service. And I think that's the other thing, too, is people underestimate the value of having someone. Yeah, it's time. You're getting your time back. So
where this really has changed in our career is when I started 25 years ago, the oldest adult daughter was a stay-at-home mom. Now she's a CEO.
Right.
Now she's a lawyer. Now she's a doctor. Now she's an influencer and still a mom. And she's and a helicopter mom at that. So she's managing grandpa and grandma from two sides. And she's marrying, and sometimes when they're divorced, there's 3 or 4 sets of grandparents now.
Right.
Which gets really complicated. But, like, she's managing all of that. Then she's managing her and her husband, and then she's managing her own personal life, and then she's managing her kid's life.
Right.
yeah,
And I'm like,
she doesn't have time.
girl, for $20,000, we could give you all this time back.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'll just take it out when you sell the house.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah. And so, like, I just get, man, your time is worth more than anything in the house. Take the 3 or 4 items, be done. I lost my dad's ring this week.
I was
gonna
curious.
ask.
I'm like,
Lost
because I
it.
know that story. You lost it.
I lost it last week, and I'm devastated.
Yeah.
I'm devastated.
Yeah.
But Zoe and we decided I'm not going to spend any more time looking for it. It's gone. It's okay. If it's supposed to come back, it will. If it doesn't, it's okay. I mean, you guys know about my ring.
Yes,
like,
we
that's
know about it.
the
I
story
know
lives
that
on.
it was
It's killing
gone.
me.
I noticed.
Yeah.
It's killing me. It's killing me.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'm not going to spend, like, my wife was able to come to this conference with me this weekend, and, like, we don't get a lot of time together right now. And so, like, could I spend the week worried about a ring, a piece of gold that has no monetary value? Honestly, probably a couple $100, but emotionally, it's everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But now I'm kind of like, is it? It's just a ring. My dad ain't coming back either way.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still content. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, it's still around.
You still
I
have
can
the
see
memories.
it. I have it all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's always weird when it, like, comes back to your own world. And am I devastated? I am devastated.
Next time we see you, there's going to be an even cooler story.
There will.
There will be.
Absolutely. And
That's the thing is like we'll see it and we'll say, tell me the story about that ring. It's going to be something cool you designed, you found.
Oh, I already lost it once. I lost it in Cincinnati, Ohio. I went to a restaurant. I like good cheeseburgers, and I took it off because it was such a juicy cheeseburger. And I took my ring off and I laid it on the restaurant, and then I forgot to put it back on. And I called the restaurant 2 days later, and they're like, we don't have it. And I was like, and I was devastated. I told the guy the ring, and I actually had artifacted it on that, that app Artifacts. They had asked me to artifact it, and so I artifacted it. And so I was like, oh, I can actually send you a picture. So I sent him the Artifacts link, and he's like, we just found that in the parking lot yesterday. He goes, it was like all banged up, and it's someone, so I go there, and he walks out. It's a random restaurant. I'm on the way to the airport. I don't live in Cincinnati.
Right.
I drive by there to get it, and he's like, it was right here. And I was like, dude, I was parked in that parking space. So it literally, I must have put it in my pocket. I got in the car and it fell out.
Keys out. Yeah.
It came back to me. It was supposed to. So like, I do say like, stuff isn't that important, guys. Like I am devastated. I don't have my dad's ring. My dad gave it to me literally the night he died. Like that's how important this ring was. Like he literally handed it to me. An hour later he died. Not to make people cry, but my point is like, you're right. The one thing we've all learned in this industry is like, you trust it. Like trust the world, man.
Yep.
Like,
what'll happen next? Sometimes it's better.
Well, it'll be good. It'll be better. And I've learned that, like no matter what's going on in the world, like really cool shit happens. You just got to give it the space to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I will say, if you're not spending all that time going over slides from 1988,
right,
cool shit happens.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
So like, let yourself free of that stuff. Oh, this is the last time I was going to say. I've started giving, if you notice on the show now, I talk about the actual weight of what left the house. I do it in pounds, not tons. And so I compare this to weight loss because it's the most easiest way to like relate it. And now I started telling people, I'm like, dude, you just, and I'm like, it's 10 pounds, right? 10 tons. So I took 5 dumpsters out of the house. Well, that's 10,000 pounds. And so I say to someone, you just lost 10,000 pounds. Like, I wonder, like, when you lose 20 pounds, your life's different. Like, you feel amazing. And so I now have dumbed it down to the biggest number. Like, we took 100,000 pounds out of a house.
Wow.
Last week. Like, literally last week.
That's a lot.
It was great. You wait till you see it. It was unbelievable. And I said, in 3 days, and it was 25 dumpsters.
Wow.
All metal. And I was like, they got their life back, right? And I was like, you guys lost 100,000 pounds. And it just makes it a metric that makes people think how big it is. So I just value your time, put a metric on that time, and live for new memories. Don't just, the old ones aren't, if they were that good, you'd still be doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah. They're memories for a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, let them be.
Yeah.
Like, people that aren't in your life anymore, there's a reason they're not in your life anymore.
Yep.
Right.
Same thing with stuff. And you just got to trust it. And I think trusting is the hardest part for anybody. Like, trust that it has a purpose, it has a reason. But we have the luckiest insight into clients where you see, like, we hear these incredible stories where it's like, oh, I met this man when I was 16, and then I met him again when I was 70. I met him again when I was 70. We've been married for 30 years. And you're like, what? It's like a movie, and that's just a regular day in our job.
Right.
But you hear these, but you have to allow. We have a blessing that we get to see the end of these stories where most people don't get to.
Yep.
Right.
And we get to see, like, we get the punchline.
Yep.
It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I see it every week, and I just think it's incredible. And I would just say, like, if you're going through it right now, trust it and go, like, one thing I've really started, like, I started doing ice cream. I'll get an ice cream truck to come to the clean out at like 4.
It's like a celebration
That's
or
cool.
something.
Yeah.
That's good.
When it's a hard night at the house, everyone just gets to go to the truck and get, it's like, I'm talking like $50,
Yeah.
Right.
But everybody in the house, client and family,
Love that.
and workers, we all get to ice cream and hang out and talk. And it just brings joy to it. Like,
Yeah,
this
love
can
it.
be the worst moment of your life, downsizing, or it can be the best. And you have to choose which way it's going to be.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
as you guys professionals, I know you put it in place so that it can be the best. But to the person listening right now, it can be the most amazing time in your life to find out incredible stories about your loved ones and yourself. Like, allow that,
Yeah.
because it ain't about the stuff. It's about all that stuff.
Very true.
Attached.
This is great.
Very true.
Love talking to you.
Thank you,
Obviously, I'll
Matt,
talk all
so
day. Thank you
much.
guys.
Yes,
Thank you guys.
thanks for coming.
Keep
Really
doing what you're
appreciate
doing.
it.
If you're in Denver, obviously use.
Thank you.
be
Yeah,
kind
and
of
we can't
okay.
wait to hear the follow up on the ring.
Yeah.
It'll come back
Next
someday.
Let
Thank
us
you
know.
guys.
Yeah,
Podcast
thanks
number
for
2.
coming.
Thanks.
That wraps up another inspiring episode of the Making Space for podcast. A huge thank you to our incredible guest and to you, our cherished listeners. Your journey to intentional living begins with each small step, and we're honored to be a part of it. Before we part ways, a friendly reminder, if you're embarking on a move or seeking expert guidance in downsizing, remember a move handled with care here in Denver. With over 15 years of experience in senior and specialty move management, we're here to transform your transition into a seamless, stress-free experience. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and visit us on social media or at amovehandledwithcare.com for more inspiration and resources. Until next time, stay inspired, stay intentional, and keep making space for what matters most.